Forewarned weather with Ashlee Baracy.
All right, folks, so we're getting new information in on the flooding concerns across southeastern Michigan, in which we are likely going to hold on to this throughout the day. We're going to get to that in a moment. I do want to show you some radar indicated totals just to bring a little bit more substance to why we're seeing advisories, watches, and warnings pop across the area. So likely picking up close to about 3 inches of rain down in the southeastern tier of Washtenaw County and right around 3 inches in portions of Monroe County. So let's go ahead and get to the flood warning, flash flood warning, that is, for a portion of Washtenaw County until 9 o'clock this morning. So this includes Stony Creek, Paint Creek, Whitaker. If you are in this area, you want to make sure you go to higher ground. Flash flood warnings for that portion of Washtenaw County. That means that water can quickly sweep away definitely vehicles when you're getting that kind of a flood in your area. In the meantime, flood watches were just popping, and I'm just getting this in. Oakland, Macomb, Wayne County now under a flood watch until 8 o'clock tonight. That's because we've already seen quite a bit of rain, and we anticipate more rounds of rain heading into the afternoon and early evening. And so the heart of the metro area now under a flood watch. Now we have flood advisories, meaning that we do have some active flooding happening down into Monroe County, where I just showed you some of those higher rainfall totals. That's especially in the southern tier of Monroe County until 7:45. So that should be going for about another hour and a half. And then an advisory, as well as that flash flood warning we were talking about, but for Ann Arbor, and that one goes past 9 o'clock. So that rain is lifting, and you can see the heavier pockets throughout Lenawee, Monroe, and Washtenaw counties. That's eventually going to work its way into the area that I just talked about, the watch. So Wayne, Oakland, Macomb counties will start to see this as the morning progresses. Pretty slow moving, so we're going to be dealing with this throughout the morning. But zooming in closer where you see that heavier rain down into Monroe, close to I-75, into Ida, and then off towards Deerfield. A little bit of that between Canton and Belleville, so impacting probably Michigan Avenue if that's part of your morning commute. Satellite and radar, frontal system down into Ohio, bringing more of that rain into the Ohio Valley, but we're on the northern tier of it, so we're getting all of that from that system that is just to the south. And so let's talk about our view across the area, because we are picking up rain on our camera lens in Belleville, although visibility not as much of an issue. Rain now in Ann Arbor, where it was a little drier not that long ago. Southfield looking a bit drier, but I would not rule out some of the light rain across the area, and Detroit's visibility a bit lower just because of the consistent rainfall. So rain could lead to some issues on the roads this morning with ponding and pooling, of course, with the flooding concerns. So temperatures right now in the 60s, which means it's a mild start. But your out the door forecast, we don't warm up a whole lot today. So 71 for the afternoon high, and that's pretty seasonal. Giving you an hour by hour look, I think we might get a little lull around the lunch hour, but then we do have more activity, scattered showers with those embedded heavy downpours by about 4 o'clock onward. And we could have a little stray shower heading into your Thursday before we finally dry things out. So sunshine, upper 70s by Friday. We'll take that forecast all the way through the weekend. Great weather if you're going to be tailgating outside of Ford Field. Darnell, any trouble out there?
Have that, but we have a lot of rain, Ash.
We absolutely do, leading to flooding concerns across the area. Still following this flash flood warning in Washtenaw County, at least a portion of it that includes Milan, also Willis, Whitaker. And so for Stony Creek, Paint Creek, if you have a home by those areas, well, you want to make sure that you're checking the sump pumps and you take to higher land. 9 a.m. is when that warning should lift, but we have flood watches across Wayne, Oakland, Macomb counties until 8 o'clock tonight. Rain continues to push north, and so right now we are in the 60s, but we will get to about 71 for the afternoon high. Darnell?
Forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
Well, I think it's an understatement to say it's been a soggy start in some communities across southeastern Michigan. I mean, we have had such heavy rain over the last few hours that now we're tracking flooding concerns. And so these are radar indicated rainfall totals, upward of 3 inches in portions of Washtenaw and Monroe counties. And that's where we've had really the bulk of the system parked over us for a couple hours, very slow moving to the north. And a flash flood warning continues in a portion of Washtenaw County until 9 o'clock this morning. So that includes areas around Stony Creek and Paint Creek, also right near Whitaker. So flash flood warning in portion of Washtenaw County. But The rural impacts really are the fact that you have that excessive rainfall, and as it is close to those streams or riverbeds, well, they all begin to rise as well with all that water, which can lead to overflow and cause flash flooding concerns in your rural neighborhood. But also check your sump pumps, whether you are out in Washtenaw County or even in a more urban environment, because we do have water that can, well, I should say that water just penetrates soil easier. And so the water that's on pavement, well, that can eventually overwhelm the storm drainage system as you get into more of the cities. And so that's why we do have a flood watch that remains in effect for Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne counties, the heart of the metro area, until 8 o'clock this evening. Here's a look at how the last 2 hours have played out. You can see the heavy rain right around Monroe, and it has only lifted ever so slightly within 2 hours. So just dumping that amount of rain, nearly parked over our area. Now, as you work your way farther north, it's been steady and lighter, but we do anticipate this to slowly work its way closer to Detroit. Couple lightning strikes throughout the morning, so maybe you hear a rumble of thunder. Nothing severe. It's really just the rain leading to the flooding concerns that's the biggest threat. So once again, those rainfall totals in some areas upward of 3 inches. Putting Exact Track 4D on. You can see Deerfield getting some of that rain, but between Monroe and Carlton, the worst spot. Taylor, that I-94 stretch, you're going to have the wipers on, probably full blast with the moderate rain coming down as that moves to the north. We are in the 60s to start. We just don't get a whole lot warmer today, as we'll top out right around 71. But as you head out the door today, don't forget that umbrella. We're in and out of rain chances, even into the later part of the afternoon and evening. So what we're dealing with right now, hopefully starts to wane and fizzle out by the lunch hour, but it's a brief break as we get more activity after 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and evening, and then another break tonight. Won't rule out a stray shower tomorrow, but not nearly as active of a pattern tomorrow, and certainly not just drier, but clearer conditions by Friday as we welcome sunshine, and that will help rise us into the upper 70s. We flirt with 80 this weekend, upper 70s in the forecast, and we will have sunshine both Saturday and Sunday, making for great tailgating weather outside of Ford Field. Otherwise, we have mid to upper 70s with drier conditions to start the next work week. Darnell?
It does
Used to
sound
be
fun.
in Detroit, and instead of saying, like I was thinking, bring it back to Detroit, just have another one. Have 2 of them.
I know.
One in Detroit, one in Royal
Well, I was
Oak.
going to say, now the Royal Oak one is like end of the year. So what do we do in like that peak of winter, February time, when we really need something to do?
We go skiing or we complain about everything. That's just what we do. All right, Christian Bale playing one of the movie's most iconic monsters.
And Spider-Man makes a big screen return. Rick Damigella has more in today's Hollywood Minute.
All right, Nick's here to talk about what's coming up next.
My socks.
Let's see them.
Let's see what you got.
Actually, show us all your socks.
those
These
are
guys
nice.
have a good
Pizza.
stock.
I got Hershey's. I got Hershey's.
Stock game strong.
These are pizza slices and pie.
Pizza
slices.
and
I like those.
Oh, yeah.
Hershey's,
Little
chocolate.
Argyle
Complete, though, with like
checkers. Very nice. You
I try
know,
and
guys
match and
you guys don't get enough credit for your sock
I got a
game.
bag of socks for my birthday, and I'm going to be going through these for at least a month.
I have some Ferris
Nice.
Bueller socks that I love to wear every now and then. That's like got a picture of Ferris and one of Cameron. Those are good.
Good, that is
Very nice.
All right,
What are you
coming up on
working
Local 4 Live, 7,000 is the new 10,000, Darnell.
What?
Trying to get those 10,000 steps in. Now you only have to do 7,000.
Woo!
Yes.
Henry Ford Health is going to be here to explain why. Also, camera 2 just can't make up its mind here.
They just don't want to see Darnell anymore. They're like, no more.
Extreme close-up! Oh!
Sorry for everyone at home with those big giant screen TVs. That's a lot of Nick.
Imagine. That's way too much. We are going to talk about the state budget. I'm sure it sounds like a whole lot of fun. We're also going to talk, I know, right? Job hugging.
What?
This is a situation where you're afraid of the job market, you're afraid of the economy, so you kind of hug your job and hold on to it.
What about if you just love your coworker?
If that's it?
Yeah. Hey, no.
Closer to camera 2.
Have a great day, everybody.
See
Nick is
you.